Hey y'all, it's Aviva Tamar, your happy high priestess, and I'm here with another tarot card reading for you today. Uh, First things first, today we're gonna start out with like a chill oracle card reading just to get a general message from source. Today I'm gonna use the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle deck. That is quite a mouthful, but it is such a beautiful deck to look at. I used it this morning on my Instagram page, which you should totally check out. Go find me on Instagram at the Happy High Priestess, please, and do that. Let's get started. Let's start by grounding ourselves a little bit here. So take a deep breath with me. Hold it 1, 2, 3. Let it out. Again, in. Hold it 1, 2, 3, and let it out. Slowly. There we go. All right. Last breath in. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Slowly release. Relax your shoulders. Relax your back. Get your neck going. Wiggle your body out a little bit. Get yourself ready. Okay? Feel in tune with your flesh suit. All right? Now that we are a little bit more in tune with our flesh suit, we need to feel the bottoms of our feet, the soles of our feet. Become aware of the soles of your feet. Okay? Now, put some roots into the ground through the soles of your feet. Feel the roots growing. Feel them digging through the earth. And then draw the energy from within the earth into yourself the way a plant would. Okay? Just feel that energy coming from deep within the earth and making its way into your body and just filling you with light and love and positive energy, and then feel it spilling out through the top of your head like a cork has been pulled. Just up, straight up into the universe and connecting with source. Just feel that light and love filling you up and connecting you with spiritual source, physical reality. Feel how everything is connected. And let's take one more deep breath. And we're going to get into this reading now. All right, let me shuffle these cards and see what message source has for us. All right. So the card we got today, our message from source, is change. The frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. Well, me oh my friends. Look at that. New things happening. This morning on my Instagram page, I got the Tower, also with another card, Prosperity, but the Tower card is change. So I find it funny that change came up again today. I'm going to turn to the change section here and read to you. I don't think I'm going to read the whole thing because it is quite long. What I'll do is I'm going to skim through here and I will read to you the things that my intuition tells me are important for this particular message. Okay? And you take what you can. All right? If it vibes, it vibes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Let's do it. Change is the only constant we can count on. Like the seasons, everything comes and goes in cycles. The ebb and flow, the day and night, the death and rebirth. Good times are followed by challenging times, followed by weird times, followed by ecstatic times. Nothing stays the same for long. Life itself demands movement and change to perpetuate itself. How we handle this constant change depends on where the center of our awareness lies. When we are deeply rooted in our own core, in our heart, at the center of the circle, the movements of change affect us less than when we are focused on the outward parts of ourselves, the outer parts of the circle. As on a spinning wheel, the closer we are to the center, the steadier everything is. I really love that. I've been seeing 555 everywhere lately, by the way. Whenever you're seeing 555 repeated, that means that there is change coming or that you are in the midst of a big shift. So I think that there is some sort of massive change coming for us when you center yourself in this spiritual place, right? When you find yourself grounded here in your spiritual center, right? In your soul, in the truest parts of yourself and your values, your morals, and things like that. Once you find that steady place, it does get a lot easier to handle the changes around you. It really does make you feel, when you feel connected to like source and when you feel connected to God or whatever sort of spiritual thing you pray to, whatever larger than you thing it is that you put your problems to, that can give you a feeling of steadiness, a feeling of regularity amidst the change that is normal here. Like, it is normal to be uncomfortable on Earth. It is normal to be uncomfortable in a human body because these things are always changing. They don't stay steady, they don't stay the same. We can rely on our spirituality to keep us steady here, okay? We can rely on our knowledge of something that doesn't change and continuing to kind of indulge in that will give us our ability to feel steady. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but what I'm trying to say is that for me personally, the thing that has helped me handle all of the changes that I have had to undergo throughout my life, like internally, externally, like all of the shifts that I have had to deal with, the one thing that has kept me going is having a deity to look to and say, I have these problems, please help. Because I can't always rely on people. I can't always afford a therapist, but I can always sit down and pray, I can always put my problems to something larger than myself and put them in their hands because they are out of my control. And that makes me feel comforted and it makes me feel more stable in these difficult times. So I hope that maybe you can take something from that. I have a personal deity, but everyone has to find the deity that works for them. They have to find the spirituality that works for them. Spirituality is so subjective. It really has to come from your core. So you have to kind of explore yourself and explore different ideas of spirituality and different philosophies and see what works for you. Find something that gives you that stability and helps you find that core within yourself of values and morals, and that really will help you stay stable throughout these changes. But it does look like some major changes are headed our way. So that's prep yourself for some changes. Prep yourself for some changes. All right, now we're going to get into a pick a deck reading where I'm going to place 3 decks. You guys are going to choose, and we'll just get right into that. I do want to say I'm sorry for the shakiness of the camera at this point, but it'll be over quickly. Let's just take a deep breath and get ready to choose our cards. All right, so here we have deck 1, deck 2, and deck 3. I do want you to think, ponder, wonder which one is right for you, which one will have the message that you need. All right, hello there, group 1. Let's get started with you. I'm going to be using for you the Luminous Spirit Tarot. And I don't know if you can see very well, but this is a nice hollow deck. I love this deck so much. Well, let's get started. Okay. So today the spread that I'm going to do is a spread that's meant to give you a little bit more insight on yourself and what you need to work on, what aspects of yourself you are already doing really well in, and what maybe needs some cleaning up, some working on. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so we have the Seven of Wands. First card, Seven of Wands, is kind of feeling like you have the upper hand in a battle of wits, a battle of ideas. The Eight of Cups, saying goodbye to things that no longer serve you. Okay. The Page of Pentacles. We've got... Ooh. So the way this is working is I'm just shuffling. We're going to get 16 cards laid out here. And then once we have 16 cards laid out for you, we're going to see what you do have, what you don't have. And it'll give us an idea of like what you need to work on. We got the Six of Wands, the King of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Five of Swords. And we're going to get your last card here, and I think that's it. All right, and the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. So, my friends, we have your cards. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cups. So, intuitively, you know what's going on, like with your intuition, like you're really in tune with your gut. You follow your gut feeling. You got the Eight of Cups, so that tells me that if your gut is telling you that you need to leave a situation, you follow that. The Four of Cups, when your gut tells you to second guess an offer, you do that. Nine of Cups, you are aware of your blessings and your abundance. You probably manifest things really well. The Six of Cups, you're really balanced in your intuition. You use your intuition to keep yourself in balance. And you may also apply your intuition to your own past or other people's past in some way. You may work in psychology. That could be a thing, but it could also not be a thing. Three of Cups, friends, you use your intuition to relate to your friends, probably, and you use your intuition in social situations. So that, cool. Intuition, yay. We have a bunch of that. That's good. We also got, let's see, another one that we got a lot of is Wands. We got Seven of Wands, King of Wands, Knight of Wands, Six of Wands, and that's it. Okay, so with the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands, you probably are a really talented person. You probably are really outgoing. These are masculine aspects who are really emotional and really passionate. The King of Wands and the Knight of Wands can be very sexually active. I'm just going to put that out there. So you may be a player. You may just have really passionate relationships. You may not be a player. It could just be that like you're just really passionate when you get into relationships, or like even just in general in the projects that you pursue, you're very passionate about them and you follow your emotions probably a lot. You may show off sometimes, but it's mostly to make other people smile and laugh. And you do seem to, you may be really in tune with your emotions as well, which makes sense if you are an intuitive person, as implied by all of the cups here. But with this King and Knight of Wands energy, you're also really masculine. You don't have to be male to be masculine according to tarot cards. It's really more with the wands, the masculine aspect of it is more assertiveness and aggressiveness, and that can be taken negatively, but it's really not negative. It just means you're more assertive and aggressive, and you fight for what you believe in, and you follow your emotions and you follow your passions with a lot of vigor. It's not a bad thing. The King of Wands energy also, by the way, is not necessarily as creative or artistic as the Queen of Wands. The King of Wands is going to be more of a person with physical talents and abilities, who is also more emotional. So it could be like you're really good at sports, but you're also really in tune with your emotion and your intuition. So like, it's just take it as it resonates. You have a lot of emotion going on. You're a very passionate person. That's very evident here. So with the Seven of Wands, we have, like I said at the beginning, it's this feeling of like superiority, feeling like you have the upper hand in an argument or in a situation, feeling like you are on the defensive, but that you have an advantage. With the Seven of Wands, often you are being attacked. People are coming at you, but you have the ability to like be above all that. You're protected with the Hamsa here. There's, you probably can't even see it. There's a little Hamsa there with the evil eye in the middle. So that implies that you're spiritually protected as well. So that's good. So you're passionate. You fight for what you believe in. You may be a bit of a show off. Six of Wands, you have a team of people on your side working with you, and victory is on the horizon. You know, you've got a victory mindset. You're very optimistic. Now, the downfall here is that when you are a more emotional and intuitive person, usually that means you are lacking in things like logic and lacking in things like being grounded in reality. So let's get into that. But I do love that you're emotional and intuitive. I also am a very intuitive person. So I connect really well with people who are intuitive. I love it. You only have three swords cards and only two pentacles cards. So that tells me that, yeah, again, these aspects maybe could use some work. Let's start with the swords. Okay, so you have the Knight of Swords, who can be more logical, but can also be impulsive. So if this is something that you're still working on, you may be a little bit more impulsive. You may not stop to think things through all the way. You may just get a thought and act on it, which can be a negative aspect of the Knight of Swords. They tend to think that they are right just by virtue of having the thought, and so they act upon their thought. That makes sense if you are a more emotional and impulsive person already. We also have the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords imagery here, I really want you to be able to see it. Oh, no. But so it's this skull, and it's got a hand driving a sword into the top of the skull. But the angle of the hand makes it look very much like you are driving the sword into your own skull, you know? So it can be interpreted as kind of making choices that are not beneficial for yourself. The Five of Swords can be using biting words to try and convince other people that you're right. It can be, when you have the Five of Swords, you tend to be undiplomatic. Okay, you tend to use your words without thinking them through. So let's being a fiery and passionate person and fighting for things that you believe in, and being passionate about, you know, causes and stuff like that, and following your intuition. Like, I completely get why you can fall into this trap of like, obviously I'm right because I feel right, right? That makes sense. I completely understand that. The problem is that sometimes you speak in a way that isolates you, and sometimes you can maybe not consider the other side as valid when maybe it is. So maybe try to be more diplomatic in your approach to things, maybe try to be less impulsive. And then you also have the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is, it's like this mental negativity. It's like this, it's like this deception, you know? The Seven of Swords tends to imply deception, and since we're talking about just you and you have the Five of Swords here, both of these are deception. It's like you're deceiving yourself in some way. Ugh, I hate to say it, but you may need to get off your high horse here. It looks like, since you have this other card here that makes you appear very self-assured, and you have these two knights who are both very impulsive knights, I'm going to say you probably need to work on reining it in a little bit. Don't act before you think things through, and maybe try to be a lot more diplomatic than you've been. If you find yourself isolated in relationships because of the words you choose to use with other people or the way you choose to approach problems, maybe reel it in. Maybe you're not as right as you think you are. Sorry about it. Okay. So that was the swords. Sorry. The swords are around the thinking aspect. So what you need to do is go and work on the brain area and your thoughts and controlling your thoughts. Meditation can be very helpful in controlling your thoughts, just saying. But there are lots of ways to go about that. One way that I started trying to learn how to control my thoughts and work on my intrusive thoughts and my behaviors is I learned about psychology. Like, go on YouTube and look up psychology, or look up a video that talks about the psychology of something about yourself that maybe you want to change. You know, start there. Start somewhere. Okay. But there's obviously some things you need to change here. Let's work on that impulsivity. Let's work on being diplomatic. And now let's go over to the Pentacles. Okay. So for this first card, you have the Page of Pentacles, and then you also have the Eight of Pentacles. Now, these are good. These are good cards. I like this. The Page of Pentacles is someone who is willing to do hard work. You know, it's someone who has willpower, even though they are inexperienced. You, obviously, since you only have two pentacles, you aren't super grounded in reality. You aren't super worried about material things, and actually physically doing the work may not be easy for you. It may be hard for you to find the motivation to actually act upon your ideas, and you may be too caught up in the emotion and the passion of everything to actually like think about the future and staying grounded in reality. The Eight of Pentacles, again, is a card of hard work here, though. So it looks like you have the ability to do lots of good work. It's like you're not afraid of hard work. It's like you're afraid of commitment. Like, you're not afraid of the work. You're afraid of how long that work is going to take, which, you know, the Page of Pentacles is really, really slow moving. And I completely understand not being cool with the way, with how long things take sometimes to reach your goals. Like, when you're a really passionate person, when you're ruled by fire, which you appear to be, having to wait for things is very difficult. You don't want to have to stop. You don't want to have to think things through. You don't want to have to wait for things to happen. You want things to happen right now, because obviously they need to happen right now, because I say they need to happen right now because I feel like it needs to happen. Like, you're a very emotional person. You're very passionate. And these are great qualities, but you also need to work on stopping to think things through, not just talking, just saying whatever's on your mind without thinking about it. Not a good idea. And maybe actually think about the longevity of things and put a little bit more effort into making things happen in real life. Okay, your last two cards are major arcana cards, and that is the Wheel of Fortune and the Hanged Man. With the Wheel of Fortune and the Hanged Man here, it tells me that there's kind of an aspect of luck here, and like your luck is taking a turn, or like you've had really bad luck or really good luck. Like, you've had there's been a lot of luck, either good or bad, affecting you. Either you've been really fortunate or really unfortunate in circumstances that are outside of your control. And again, with the Hanged Man, that circumstances being outside of your control, but being kind of forced into a pause. So you're being kind of forced into this. There's very little control here. You don't have a whole lot of self-control. There's not a lot of self-discipline. There's a work to be done. The Wheel of Fortune, though, means that movement can happen. The wheel can turn. Things can change. So it's possible that things were going really, really well for a while, and then things changed. The wheel turned, and now you are in this place of stagnation and kind of struggle, and mental struggle. So what needs to happen is we need to work on kind of being more in tune with the self, with the with your thoughts. You need to be more in tune with your thoughts, more aware of your thoughts, and you need to develop more control over your thoughts, and you need to become more grounded in reality and have your eyes toward the future, because that wheel can turn at any moment. Your luck can change at any time. So it's time to start getting grounded and working on the long term. All right. Okay. So thank you so much. This has been your reading from Aviva Tamar, your happy high priestess. Please. Wow. It's just hitting the mic. That was exhausting. Thank you so much. I really hope that this has been helpful. Join me next time, please. And leave a like down below, comment, let me know what you thought, and subscribe if you really enjoy my channel. Okay. Bye. Hey, welcome group 2. Thank you for choosing the Starman Tarot deck, and we are going to just do a quick little check-in and see where you're at. This tarot spread is meant to kind of give you some insight on yourself and how you work and where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are and what needs to be worked on, okay? So the way it works is I pull 16 cards. We look at the number of each suit, and we look at the meanings of those cards to get kind of details about what's going on with you internally. So let's get right into it. All right. I have here, as you chose, the Starman Tarot, which the artist who did the cover art for David Bowie's Starman album did the art for these cards, and I love this deck so much. I love it. It's beautiful, and you'll see. I'll show you the art. It's gorgeous. Okay, let's get started. Let's tune in. Okay, got a few cards to start with. Oh, we got the Sacred Clown, the Princess of Cups, the Princess of Swords, Justice, 6 of Pentacles. Okay. Okay, whoa. Okay, chaos. Okay. Let's wrangle it. Let's rein it in here. Okay, we've got the Ace of Pentacles, another ace. And we got the World. You've got a lot of major arcana. You've got the World, the Sun, the Star, Justice, and the Sacred Clown. Whoa. What is going on here? Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. We just need 5 more cards. So I'm just going to get 5 more cards for you here. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Perfect. Oh my gosh, perfect numbers. All right, so let's see what we've got. So first of all, let's go through your major arcana. You've got a lot going on here. You've got the World, the Sun. So those are good things. The Star, that's hope. Let me show you these. You've got the World, okay? Isn't she gorgeous? So the World is completion, it's abundance. You've got the Sun, which is abundance and happiness and good fortune. You've got the Star, which is hope and wishes and dreams coming true. That's wow. You've also got the Sacred Clown, which is infinite potential and taking leaps of faith. And then you have Justice, which is balance. She's got this brain and the heart balanced here. Okay, so you've got balance going on. So this is big energy. This is great. This is great. This is a great start. This is a great place to start. You're starting in a place of a lot of abundance and a lot of connected energy. There's a lot of joy and balance here too. So that's good. So let's take a look at the cards you got here. The minor arcana. Let's see. We're going to see what you've got of each suit here. We've got swords, cups, wands, swords. Wow, you've got lots of swords energy. You are a very mentally focused person, it appears. Whew. Wow. Oh, wow. 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 Is that right? That's a lot of swords energy, guys. Swords. Wow. Okay. Wow. That's a lot of swords energy. Let's get started on that. That's obviously your strong suit. Your strong suit is obviously thoughts, thinking things through. Cool. Let's start there. But it looks like there's no focus on any of the other aspects of yourself. You got some work to do. But it looks like you've already got a lot of work done. That's great. So you got the 5 of Swords, the Ace of Swords, the 8 of Swords, the 10 of Swords, the King of Swords, and the Princess of Swords. All right, we're going to start with the lowest number and work our way up. Okay, so with the Ace of Swords here, this is the beginning of intellectual processes. This is, thoughts, logic, thinking things through, like I said before. Mathematics, science, it's starting things in that vein, right? Okay, so that could be where you're at, like you started a journey in a logical realm or in a logical way. Okay, that is your strong suit, is thinking. The 5 of Swords. Okay, so the imagery on this card is pretty great, actually. So you see how this dude's got all these swords and he is just stabbing this person through the heart like multiple times. This is a tendency to be undiplomatic and a tendency to be savage when there is not a need to do so. Like just because you feel like you should in order to win, and that's not cool. If this is your energy, if like you think, well, the logical thing is to do this and this and this, even though that hurts people, that's not cool. That needs to get checked. The 8 of Swords here is like you're trapped in your mind, which I definitely see with all of these like all of this sword energy and the very little of all the other energies. I would say that, yeah, you're pretty trapped in your mind right now. You're trapped in your thoughts. You have a lot of trouble taking your thoughts and creating something with them. It's like you're stuck within the thoughts and unable to like manifest them into something physical. You also have the 10 of Swords here, which is endings. Okay, you can see these two entities are being like pulled apart from one another. And all these swords are raining down on them. It really is like it's an ending that may cause a separation, a split. But it is definitely an ending of something. The 10 of Swords often is like the dead stop. Usually on the 10 of Swords, you will see something dead, something that has been stabbed through multiple times by 10 swords. It's really gruesome. It's fun stuff. But the point is that you seem to be focused on negativity here. It's like you have these like cycles of negative thoughts, these like worst case scenario thoughts, and these thoughts of like persecution. And you may use your thoughts to deceive others as well, or you may use your intellectual abilities to deceive others. This is not positive energy here. Like the major arcana we got were very positive, and that's good. But it looks like that you have such an imbalance of swords energy to other energies that you're kind of trapped in your thoughts, and it may feel very uncomfortable. We have also the Princess of Swords and the King of Swords. The Princess of Swords is like the page, right? It's this young, inexperienced character, right? If this is you, this is someone who's kind of at the very beginning of an intellectual journey, someone who still has a lot to learn, and someone who has a love of learning usually is associated with the page or Princess of Swords. It's also someone who relies heavily on their words and their thoughts. The King of Swords here also you have. And the King of Swords is someone who is like super into his thoughts. His mind pretty much rules every aspect of his life. He never makes a decision that is not logical. He doesn't really rely on his emotions. That's not to say that a King of Swords who is balanced won't be aware of their emotions, but someone who is in a King of Swords energy, in the positive aspect, is aware, and takes their emotions into account, but it is not like the main source of guidance for them. Okay. Um, if this describes you, there's some work to be done here. That's not to say that you don't have a lot of very good qualities. With the Ace of Swords and the Princess of Swords and the King of Swords here, I see a lot of like, and with the Sacred Clown and Justice, I'd say that there's a lot of really good potential here. You have a lot of potential for balance and potential for abundance. We just have to break you out of that mental shell of yours. We got to get you out of the swords energy and kind of get you comfortable in the other energies here. So let's get these 2 cups going. All right. The next suit I'm pulling for you is the cups. You have 2 cups in your spread, the 3 of cups and the Princess of Cups. The 3 of Cups is social connections and abundance within those social connections. It's parties and love in life with your friends. So it can also be indulging. So I would say that you probably value very much your intuitive connections with other people. Like you definitely value the connections that you make with other people. Um, uh, and you like to keep those relationships going, right? You like to maintain these relationships and you like to like enjoy time with people that you love. That's good. That's great. That's wonderful. Let's indulge that. Let's nurture that aspect, okay? Let's spend more time with people that we love. Let's try to figure out how to show that love a little bit more, okay? And then there's also the Princess of Cups here. The Princess of Cups is, again, the page. She's going to be more inexperienced. She's going to be younger. That doesn't mean that you necessarily are physically young. It just means that spiritually, you're kind of in this place where you have a lot to learn. But with the Princess of Cups, there's also so much potential here. There's a lot of color in this card. There's this like rainbowy fire coming out of this goblet here. And that to me is showing like all of this like alchemical potential here. There's a lot of energy in the Princess of Cups. And with cups, that's your intuition, right? So with the 3 of Cups and the Princess of Cups together, I'd say that your intuition will grow through nurturing your relationships with other people and through nurturing your relationship with yourself. Nurturing that intuition. So you need to find ways to practice using your intuition, and you need to connect with your friends a little bit more to kind of expand this cups energy here. Okay. So that's one thing that you have to do. Let's move on to the pentacles. For the pentacles, we have the 6 of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. So you have 3 aces here that, again, you've got all this potential. There's so much potential. You're just like not using it. Okay, so we got the Ace of Cups. Wow. We got the Ace of Pentacles. And here we've got this beautiful, like golden, earthy card here. And you see, I don't know if you can see it very clearly, but there's a person underneath, like in the roots here of this tree thing going on. Okay. And that's like the beginnings of this journey of grounded abundance, right? The beginnings of manifesting real life things. And with the Six of Pentacles here, pardon me, the Six of Pentacles is balance. It's balance between your shadow and your light. It's balance between your more impulsive caveman kind of tendencies, for lack of a better term. My brain can't find it right now, what I'm trying to say, but it's like that, like those fight or flight responses. It's being able to control those. It's also being in a financial position to be able to give to other people. But really, the Six of Pentacles really is about like perfect financial balance and physical balance. Like being in a place of like, just the sixes are all balance, and pentacles are the senses, like the things that you can touch, taste, feel, hear, things like that. Okay. Real life things. So like it's your real world coming into balance through this journey of like physical abundance that you need to go through. So what I would say here is, in order to come more into balance and to start this journey, we need to find ways to get you more in tune with the real world. And that can be things like just doing chores. Like if you have trouble with making sure that your daily chores are done, like that can be a baby step that you can take to try to get into this place. Like if you are very intellectual, a lot of the times that can mean that you are very messy. Like, not to like throw shade or anything, I'm just saying smart people don't usually prioritize their physical space because they're so focused on their mental space. So if you are a very mentalist kind of person, if you tend to spend more time up here than out here, then you're probably going to have some trouble with basic daily things like doing the dishes and making your bed and making sure there's no clothes on your floor. Like, totes understand. I literally, in the last like few months, have gotten over that. It's not, and I'm still working on it. It's not an easy process, but baby steps. Start start with making sure that your bed is made in the morning. Start with making sure you wash your dishes right after you use them or something. Start with something small that you know that you can accomplish, that connects you with the real world and those like daily simple things that need to get done. And that can help you kind of expand that Pentacles aspect. And the last thing, and probably your weakest aspect, is the Ace of Wands, which is a lot of potential within the area of emotion. You have a lot of potential. It's just you're not utilizing it in like real world things. Your emotions are the things that you are not in tune with the most. So here's a fun thing that you can do as an intellectual person, as someone who does spend a lot more time in their mind. I would say that you should try to have a conversation with your emotions. This is something that my own counselor, therapist taught me to do. And so I'm going to pass it on to you, and hopefully it will help you. So, what I recommend is that you try to make your emotions something separate from yourself, like visualize it as something separate from you. Like, what I did was my fear and anxiety manifested for me as like the image of this yellow snake that would hang out in my belly and coil up in my belly and feel tight, right? So by paying attention to my physical body when I was having an emotional reaction to something, right? And then associating that physical sensation with an image, a mental image of an emotion, it helped me kind of get more in tune with my emotions, because being in tune with my emotions is not as easy for me either. So I completely understand this. Like, this is a difficult process, okay? And coming into tune with your emotions can also be kind of difficult, especially if you have a history of being more of a verbally aggressive kind of person. If you have a history of being more cold on the surface, I can see being emotional as being difficult for you probably. So I'm just saying, baby steps. Like, progress is progress, no matter how small. Even if you do one tiny thing every day, as long as you're doing something and as long as you're trying and you're like truly dedicated to making a change and growing, you can do this. It's not easy. I won't say that it's easy, but it's something that you can do. So, my dear intellectual friend, you have a lot of potential. There's a lot of good things in your future if you're just willing to step out of your comfort zone and come out of your mind and come into reality a little bit. Okay. So thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I really hope it was helpful for you. If you have any questions, like leave comments down below, ask questions about your reading, like this video if this resonated with you. Let me know which pile you got and how it went for you. And also, please trust your own intuition. If it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So just take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Okay. Take whatever lessons you can. I really, really hope that this did help you. Again, so have a wonderful day. Hey there, group number 3. Thanks for joining me. Here we have the Kawaii Tarot, and we're going to get started, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little 16-card spread that's going to give you some insight on yourself and what needs to be worked on and what's really good and, you know, all the things in between. So let's see what's going on inside of you. Okay. Tell us about group number 3. Strengths and weaknesses. Ooh. First 3. Wow. Ooh. Okay. All right. Let's get organized here. Ooh. Okay. So we've got 5 cards out already. We've got the 2 of Cups. We've got the 9 of Swords. We've got the Devil. The Devil. Oh. Okay. And the 10 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles. Did I say the 8 of Pentacles? 8 of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles. And Judgment. Okay, so we've got 2 major arcana already. Oh, that's too much. I'm just going to get all the cards out first, and then I will let you know what they mean. Death. Man, you got so many major arcana cards. These are the most major arcana cards so far. Well, so far, you're the last group. So these are the most major arcana cards that I've gotten. 1. That is far too many. You know that. Ah, exasperated. Okay. I'm going to take the ones that are face down, not the ones that are face up. Okay. We've got 3 here. It's a little bit too many, but, you know, insight is insight. So let's get into it. Wow, you have so many major arcana. What is going on here? Wow. Okay. So first I'm going to go through your major arcana cards and explain to you the meanings of those. Those are insights to like the core of your personality. These are like unchangeable things. This is really cool. It's very interesting. Well, maybe not unchangeable. They're just big energy. Big lessons. Got lots. Lots. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. Wow. Okay. This is fun. Okay. Let's see what we've got. So we've got the Empress. So the Empress is a motherly feminine energy. She's very grounded. She's abundant. She's aware of cycles and she respects cycles, like the cycles of the earth. She's in tune with the earth. Okay, cool. So that's great. Awesome. You may have a more motherly energy about you, so that's cool. That's great. We've also got the Lovers here, and the Lovers is like the union of opposites, right? So you're pretty good at balancing the 2 sides of yours, or the opposing aspects of yourself, right? Cool. You may be really good at balancing relationships with the Empress and the Lovers here. I see a lot of like love and positivity in your relationships. Then we have the Chariot, which is creative thinking in overcoming obstacles. It's the divine vehicle. So it's like when It's when our connection with our intuition guides us through challenging situations. So that's cool. You're connected with your intuition, connected with the divine, divinely protected. That's cool. The Wheel of Fortune. Okay, you've got some good fortune, some good or bad luck. You've got luck playing a role in your life, and that may be good or bad, but you've got some sort of fortune karma playing a role in your life right now. We also have the Star, which is hope and wishes. So you have a lot of you may have a lot of positivity in you. You may be the kind of person who finds the light in the darkness. You may be the kind of person who like tries to focus on the positive. Okay. You also have death here. That little scythe, adorable. And that is like these it's endings, right? But it's also like it's that ending so that something new can begin, right? um you may not be very afraid of change. You may be the kind of person who's cool with things changing a lot. um you may be comfortable with change, or you may just be around change a lot. Or you may be in the midst of something that is ending. We also have the devil. Okay. Now, the devil can be vices. Oh, goodness. Uh, anything that like makes you feel kind of earthbound or trapped in your flesh suit. Those things like addictions, obsessions, negative feelings that make us feel trapped. You could be the kind of person who feels trapped in having to be positive all the time. That is entirely possible. You may be the kind of you may feel trapped in having to like maintain positivity and keep this like motherly, maintaining relationships positive facade in spite of all this like change and difficulty and having to overcome obstacles. It doesn't look like things are easy for you per se, but it does look like you have a lot of positive energy, and you may feel trapped by that role of being the positive caregiver, which, you know, mood. Mood. That's a mood. Yes. Feeling trapped in the role of being a positive caregiver is, yes. Wow, so many people. Let's see what we can do. Let's get some insight on the little things so that we can start making some changes, bring us in the positive direction. Okay, so let's see how many pentacles you have. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 2 cups, 3 cups, 1 wand. Oh, we missed a major arcana card. Judgment. Judgment is rebirth. How funny that I missed that card. So judgment is letting the old you kind of fizzle out and being reborn from the ashes. Very often, it's kind of letting go of these like negative aspects of yourself and giving yourself over to the divine in order to be reborn. But really, in general, it just means like you're reworking some aspects of yourself, getting rid of the old, weeding the garden kind of thing. Okay. So that's good. You have an attitude toward keeping balance and making things positive. That's good. A growth mindset. That's exactly where we need to be. So let's get into these minor arcana cards. You have 4 pentacles cards. So that means that your main aspect is the senses, things that you can feel, taste, hear, see, real world, real life things. Like you may be really good at getting chores done. You may be really good at like making sure the bed is made, making sure the kids all have their food, and making sure things get done around the house and maintaining your household. That's something that I can definitely see, since you have the 10 of Pentacles, which is often associated with like balanced family life and abundant families. So you may be like this mother caregiver role. Yeah, I can see that. We also have the 4 of Pentacles, which is like a stable financial situation, but not feeling necessarily abundant or secure. But it does mean that you're feeling stable. Okay, so your financial situation and your real world situation is stable. The Eight of Pentacles is, working hard, working hard to get things done. That's great. Like, you are abundant, you feel abundant, you pay attention to the blessings that surround you. You're an amazing caregiver. You work hard, you're not afraid of being dedicated to hard work. You have the Page of Pentacles here. Again, not afraid of being dedicated to hard work, still has a long way to go and a lot to learn, but you're prepared for anything. You're ready, you're on your feet. You may move a little bit slower than some people, but you deal with problems in creative ways. You're always there with a solution. Wow, that is a lot to put on a person, man. That's a lot. Like, it's positive. You're like an amazing caregiver. You care so much about other people, but like, that's a lot to have on your shoulders, my friend. Let's move on to your next level. So you have 3 cups cards here. You have the Two of Cups, which again, you have this like, you're maintaining relationships very well. Like, you've got these like positive, abundant, loving, and balanced relationships with other people. That's great. That's great. Cups, I'm sorry, I didn't like say this, but cups are your intuition, right? It's your connection with your soul, your spirit, your spiritual side, your gut feelings about things. Those, that's what cups is associated. It's intuition. And with with the Two of Cups, your intuition guides you through your relationships, and so far it does look like that it's been guiding you towards some real abundance in your relationships, because you've got this like caregiver role. You got the Lovers card here with the Two of Cups. So if you're not in a romantic relationship right now, you have a lot of potential to be a very good partner. Like, if you aren't already a mom, and if you aren't already like some sort of like caregiver, if you aren't already in some sort of loving relationship, you have the ability to be an amazing partner. So please don't sell yourself short in that area. I can see a lot of really good things here for you. You're very down to earth and very intuitive, and you work for other people for their benefit, and you share your abundance. That's amazing. You look like a very generous person. We also have the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups means that you have the ability to walk away from things when you notice that something is not to your benefit. And that speaks to your grounded sensibilities, right? Your first, most, the thing that you rely on the most is your senses, right? And so if you see and feel and hear that things are not the way they are supposed to be, if they are not benefiting you, you are very good at looking at the evidence before you and assessing the situation and listening to your intuition and putting those two things together and saying, okay, it's time for me to walk away. That's great. I love this. This is wonderful. Yes. This is how your relationships stay balanced too. You are very good at drawing boundaries, which is probably why you're a really good caregiver also, because being a caregiver involves drawing boundaries and making sure that those in your care, adhere to those boundaries so that everyone can get along, you know? And then there's the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups wants the truth to be known. The Knight of Cups wants people to feel love. He wants them to feel joy. The Knight of Cups is connected to the divine, connected to their intuition. The Knight of Cups is in tune with their emotions also. So there's a lot of really good stuff here. Oh my gosh, you are so beautiful and balanced and loving and generous. Oh my goodness gracious. That's so amazing. But we do have 2 weakened aspects here, okay? We have 2 things that, maybe you're not so in tune with, okay? So one, we have the Page of Wands, and the other one is the Nine of Swords. Okay, let's start with the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is... you see how happy this little dude is? The Page of Wands wands are your emotions. Let's start there. Wands are your emotions. The Page of Wands is someone who is immature, is like just starting to get in tune with their emotions, right? Someone who is They are passionate, they are hardworking, but maybe they lack some direction. The Page of Wands can also be kind of superficial because they're not really in tune with their emotions so much, so they can be more focused on money and material things, which you do have that potential here with all of these pentacles, with real world things being the things you value most. That's not a bad thing. It's really good to be practical. The issue is that you may not be as in tune with your emotions as you need to, and that means that you may react more emotionally than you need to in some situations. Like when you get triggered, you may have very big emotional reactions with this Page of Wands energy, and you may feel kind of sometimes like your emotions are kind of out of your control. And so that's something that needs to be worked on. We need to start working towards emotional control here, and kind of, well, let's move into the next card and you'll get more of an idea of what I'm talking about. With the Nine of Swords, it's being trapped in your mind, right? It's being like plagued with anxiety. So I see a possibility that you have big anxieties in the background here, and you're trying to ignore your anxiety and you're trying to ignore your anger or any negative emotions. You're trying to, like, you're working so hard to maintain your caregiver status. You're trying so hard to maintain this like loving relationship and trying to like stave off this change here. You're trying so hard to be positive that you're kind of pushing yourself and your own anxieties and your own negative emotions to the side, and that's not what needs to happen here. What needs to happen is emotions need to be nurtured and thoughts need to be paid attention to. You know, if you have thoughts about something, just what are they? They're just thoughts. They can't hurt you. They're just inside of your head. They don't really exist. They're just things that they're just little synapses firing in your brain. So if you do have weird thoughts sometimes, if you have thoughts that bother you and cause anxiety, there are a few different ways that you can deal with that, but I would recommend going and doing some research on psychology and doing some research on anxiety and learning coping mechanisms for those things. I also recommend learning about psychology specifically to get in tune with your emotions. Learning about your brain can help you figure out how to function like a person, and your emotions and your mind are very closely connected. So it is important for you to kind of step away from this real world reality for a second and go into your mind and your emotions and sit there and be comfortable with those things, because it doesn't seem like you're comfortable with those things because you're so focused on being this caregiver. So, girl, what are you doing? Like, I know who I'm talking to right now. I know exactly who I'm talking to. I have a friend. I keep hitting this mic. I have a friend, and I know I'm talking exactly to her. And girl, you better calm down and start taking care of yourself. If you have these anxieties and these strong emotions that are bothering you, you need to take some time and you need to figure out a way to get in tune with them. If you can afford a therapist, get a therapist, okay? Like, for real. I love you. I don't care who you are at this point. Like, I love you. You are amazing. I see that you care so much about other people. You have the very best of intentions. We just need to get you more in tune with your mind and your emotions and being more comfortable with like those internal things of yourself, because your goal is balance, but you're really imbalanced right now, and any change is really going to throw you off. So we need to get you to a point where you're totally cool with sitting alone with your thoughts with no phone or anything in your hand, and being in your emotions and recognizing, oh, I'm feeling this emotion. No, I shouldn't react in the way I usually do. Instead, I should react this way. These are the goals here. So let's use those goals and go out into the world and try to figure out some solutions, okay? Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really hope that this was helpful for you. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like, leave a comment down below. Let me know which one you got and how helpful or not helpful it was. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much. All right. Bye.